Alright, now we're going to make this font and this text. Now, I'll have a little bit of a disclaimer here. I am good at Photoshop, so I'm really good at Photoshop. When I am presented GIMP, however, I am not as good as GIMP. So here's what I come up with for that sign. It's not too bad. It's pretty close. It took me a little bit to figure that out. Well, we're going to go through the step and process of this. I will destroy everything so I don't cheat. And I'm very tempted to cheat, by the way. Delete. Alright, here it goes. Well, it's fresh in my head. Now, the first thing I had to do was load the color, and then I loaded the UVs. That way I know right where to put this thing. So that's stuff that you already know how to do based upon my other videos. Now, what's missing out of the equation is the gimpism that needs to occur. So here, I'm going to make an area with the text tool. Type in general store. Oh, how neat. It's already the same size. Now, how do you change the size? Because yours is not. It's down here below. So here's my text tool. Here's below. And I'm using Gimping Book Basic Bold. Okay, so it's a built-in font. That way everybody can do this. And I'm just going to kind of put, whoops. And I'm using my arrow tools on my keyboard to kind of center this. Alright, there's my black variation. Now I'm going to right click and duplicate that layer. Double click this. Oop, no. This one I'm going to change the color of. That's located here. Okay, and then here's my eyedropper tool. I'm going to choose a color from the picture. I'm going to rank up the V channel. As I explained earlier, V is just the idea of just light. There we go, so it's light. And now what I can do is go back to my move tool and move that up just a little bit. And offset it. Okay. Then I click on here and go to Filters, Map, Bump Map. I do know bump map, so that's why I aimed at this. I was like, oh yeah, they got a bump map. So here's General Store, and check that out. It gives it this bump. So this is based upon one of the layers, that layer. And if I want to tone down the bump, I can do this. If I want to make it bumpier, I can do this. So I'm going to make it the bumpiest depth possible. Okay. Not bad, not bad. And that made a transparency layer on top of everything. That's how it works. All right, next. Right click and say select text to selection. Go up to the top, make a new layer, and then I had to find the gradient tool. I want black to white. Click and drag. So it looks like that. Then I'm going to go to multiply and then tone it down as far as the opacity goes. And that's what I came up with. So now I can hide my UVs. And what I wanted to do here, I wanted to try something outside the box, so excuse me while I play around. I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I'm going to move it up in the stack. And then I'm going to desaturate it. And I'm going to lighten it up quite a bit. I just need some texture. And then I'm going to multiply it. Okay, good. See how it added a little bit of texture to the general store? Alright, next, I go down here, right click, and say text to selection. Select invert. And then cut. So now I have this nice texture that's on it. So it kind of looks a little bit older. Still looks a little brand new, but that's okay. I like this. I'm going to go with it. Now I could put that OCC on the top, the ambient occlusion, but here's the problem. If I do that, this will be darker than all the other pieces. So I am choosing not to do that and letting the engine shade it for me. Okay. Well, I'm done with that. That's all I really needed to do. Would I have to develop a whole new part? No, no. In Unity, I already have this part. It's already got the same UVs as my trim piece. What I'm missing is the map. Find the map. Find the map. Yeah. Sorry, 2-year-old daughter. So, yeah, you get that Dora the Explorer thing going on in your head all the time. Now here, and it works for my field too, if you think about it. I'm always trying to find the map. Just a different style map. Here's my general store color map. You know, I could just double click that to make sure it's the same one. Yep, it is. Copy that. And then put that in my game directory. Let's go to Unity. Okay, so here's my trim piece. But my trim piece could also act as my sign. So here's this one. I'll go to default, and then I could switch this out. So the light variation, it must be this one. And it looks like I put it on the wrong shell. So it needs to move up on the shell. That's no problem. I still have that in GIMP. Yeah, because it actually goes on the bottom shell. Oops. So how do I fix all that? That's easy, I think. As soon as I figure out how to highlight more than one. You're telling me you can't highlight more than one. Whoa. That's very interesting. Okay, let's see if I can merge this down. I got it. I got it. Check this out. Pulling dirty tricks. Edit, copy visible. Edit, paste. Click that as a layer. Now I'll just hide all my other stuff. Show my shells. Move this layer down. I'll get out of this program yet. Just move that down. So you don't want to mess around with the Photoshop guy. Yeah, that's right. I don't care how impossible you make it, GIMP. I will conquer you. So there we go. Perfect. So let's save as. And I'll save that as my general store color map, TGA. Replace it. Save it. Go back and see what happens. Oh. Yeah. And that was in my work in progress directory. So in my work in progress directory, there is now the new saved out. I could have saved it right in there. You know, this is, I do like to filter it to make sure that everything is correct before I move it into production. But in this case, it would have worked just fine. And there we go. We have our general store showing up on the front, and this is now our sign. Good. Hit F. F allows you to zoom right into the scenario. And sometimes it takes a little bit of coaxing to get this in the area where the mesh should go. Sometimes it's easier just to delete the piece out, zoom into the building, hitting F, and then going in and adding the new deco piece. Just like that. Now, when I change this one, does it change the other one? Most likely, yes. In order to get around that, you can right-click, Show in Explorer, copy it, paste it, and name this 2. When you're going here, you can now have 2 variations. You can have the general store variation, or you can have the other generation that has different mapping. So that's how I conquer stuff like that, if I'm using the same part over and over. So now I can get rid of this one. And here's building deco 2. I can just translate that to my scene, and now I have a different variation of it. Very cool. All right. So now that we have these pieces in play, let's go on to the next video.